Now, viewers, our focus is back on the tragedy that has hit the neighboring nation of Myanmar, where the fresh aftershocks have rattled the nation as the death toll after the powerful earthquake has rocked the day before yesterday, causing extensive damage across the wide swath of one of the world's poorest countries. Myanmar is already embroiled in a civil war and information is tightly controlled. Although it is an active earthquake belt, many of the tremors have usually happened in the sparsely populated areas and not in the cities like those affected now. But with the communications badly disrupted, the true scale of the disaster and this tragedy is only emerging from the isolated military-ruled state. And the toll is expected to rise significantly further. The death toll from the major earthquake in Myanmar has risen to over 2,000. More than 3,900 people have been injured. A statement from the junta spokesperson has said that 270 more people have been still missing as the rescue efforts to trace the people who have been massively injured and possibly suffered the loss of life is going on. It has also declared a week of national mourning and directed that the national flags will fly at half-past until April 6th in the sympathy for the loss of the life and the damages. The announcement has come as the tempo and the urgency of the rescue efforts wound down in the Mandalay, one of the worst affected cities and the country's second largest, with more than 1.7 million inhabitants. Brian, my colleague, is joining me live on the broadcast. Brian, as far as the tragic earthquake in Myanmar is concerned, where the death toll has crossed the mark of 2,000, a worrying number, specifically at that point of time, where in fact there is a scenario where accessing information is difficult to take place. Now, when we are tracking the updates, what are you picking up as far as in fact the scale of the tragedy and destruction is concerned? How well the rescue efforts are looking to be going ahead at this point of time?
Well, 3 days after this very devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar, and more than now 2,900 people have unfortunately been injured, and the death toll has also reached to 2,056. Now, very importantly, the situation is still dire with over 270 people still missing. The junta has also announced a week of national mourning, during which flags will fly at half-past until April 6th, in even remembrance also of the lives and the widespread, damage caused by the disaster. Now, the city of Mandalay, which is one of the hardest hit areas and the second largest in Myanmar, with a population of 1.7 million, continues to struggle. Their rescue efforts have slowed, and many residents are still camping in the streets due to fears of aftershocks and the destruction of their homes. Some people have also set up tents, but many, including children, are forced to sleep on blankets in the streets, trying to stay away from the precarious buildings. Now, the earthquake also claimed the lives of 3 Chinese nationals and 2 French citizens. However, due to communication disruption in much of Myanmar, the full extent of the damage and loss of lives are still unclear, with the death toll also expected to rise. This 7.7 magnitude quake caused widespread damage, cracking roads, collapsing buildings, and even sending tremors as far as neighboring countries, including China, Thailand, Vietnam, and even some parts of, in India. In Bangkok, at least 20 deaths have been confirmed after this very 30-story construction tower also collapsed as a result of the quake. Yes.
Well, absolutely. In fact,